like frozen sections with like, there's like a whole frozen section dedicated to dumplings. Do you wanna?
Oh yeah, let's go.
I also really love the signs, like how to eat a dumpling, how to assemble bibimbap. I find those very charming. This is a store that really speaks to the demographic of the neighborhood it's in. You know, when I spoke to the people who run this, they said that they're dictated not by conventional grocery store formats, but by who's actually shopping at their store. And here in Queens, it's a really diverse audience. So it makes sense that the aisles would represent the diversity of who shops here. I came here to report. I walked out with like several bags of dumplings. It's just like, how can you not? Like these jumbo packs of dumplings, like I'm always thinking about sort of the things that we see all around us that we maybe don't think to stop and question. And for me, I always thought about why the ethnic aisle still exists. Why, when I walk into my grocery store, is there this sort of small aisle or section where all of these countries from around the world are sort of smushed into this one place, especially in a country as diverse as the US. I first talked to the purveyors, I talked to customers, and then I talked to grocery stores, the institutions often upholding this system, to find out why it still exists. Is it changing? Is it possible to dismantle the ethnic aisle? Is that what we want?
So my local ethnic aisle feels quite chaotic, not very intuitive. There's just kind of this random hodgepodge of cuisines from around the world smushed into one aisle. It's such a broad range all shoved into one place. You know, the experience doesn't feel very intuitive or delightful.
It is so helpful to have the ethnic aisle. That's pretty much where I always end up, at the grocery store. I hope it doesn't offend people, because I find that almost everybody else's cuisine is much more interesting and flavorful and fun to cook than American cuisine. So I just love being able to walk down that ethnic aisle and get my inspiration and go home and cook off the cuff and have something more delicious to eat for dinner than what I would have made if I just made it the American way.
There is no sort of definitive answer to the question of, you know, is the ethnic aisle a good thing or a bad thing, and what is the alternative to the ethnic aisle? The notion of getting rid of the ethnic aisle isn't as easy as just resorting a couple products. And to dismantle a system that has been, you know, part of grocery stores and has sort of become kind of an institution is also really difficult. Oh man, this is really a mecca. Really like you're going to like an Indian grocery store, Korean grocery store, Greek grocery store all in one. Look at all of this. There's actual choice, right? Like I think it's really cool that it treats every country and culture with the nuance that it deserves. At first I was like, is it a good thing or a bad thing that they've separated out by country? But I think what I've realized is that just putting the items in quote-unquote conventional categories like sauces or pasta or noodles is also limiting. I interviewed a store in Portland that was trying to do just that and realized that they were worried that they were flattening all of these cuisines, whereas here you're learning like this is Pakistani, this is from the Dominican Republic, this is Korean, this is all like banchan, kimchi, whole section. Maybe let's go to a familiar aisle, the Indian aisle. First of all, I am struck by just the variety of lentils and spices here. Like whole coriander seed, I have a really hard time finding that. They have kala chana, which are black chickpeas, kalonji, and it's nice that it's like a whole aisle. Like these products are given space to breathe in a way that they're really not in the traditional, you know, quote unquote ethnic aisle format. What continues to baffle my mind is, you know, I live in Brooklyn, which is a really, really diverse borough, and my local grocery store probably has, you know, one brand of sesame oil, one brand of soy sauce, one brand of fish sauce. Why don't they have more variety? There's a lot of olive oil, but I mean, is my neighborhood particularly known for its Italian population? I don't think so. For me, I always grew up feeling like it was a way of sort of exoticizing other ingredients, when for some people it's really helpful. For some purveyors, it allows their products to sell even better. So it's just really complicated. The most surprising thing I learned in my reporting was that as much as we like to think that we dictate where things go on the grocery store shelf, companies are literally paying for prime placement. When a product is on sale in a grocery store, it's often because a company has paid for that product to be part of a promotion. Oftentimes, the companies that can't afford to get that prime placement are small, minority-owned businesses.
From day one, we're kind of already pigeonholed. My sister and I, as co-founders, we really believe that change happens in multiple ways. It's through tough conversations with gatekeepers, it's through driving national dialogue, it's through consumers reaching out to their stores and making demands.
The question is whether grocery stores are here to serve the needs of the local demographics, or whether grocery stores are here to introduce customers to a diversity of products, maybe even ones that they've never seen before, that are new to them. The truth is, like, there are a plurality of opinions on this section of the grocery store, and you can't say that one is definitively right. These big questions rarely have really neat answers. This is one of the most challenging stories that I've ever had to report. So I really want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think. What are your thoughts on the ethnic aisle? Is this something you've ever thought of before? Do you find it to be a good thing, a bad thing? Are your feelings complicated? I'd love to hear it all. Yeah, it's really, it's so complicated. How do I explain a 2,000 word article in a short YouTube video?